How we doing there, boys and girls? Manthieus here, welcome back to another video. So although there's some World of Warcraft going on in the background, this isn't strictly gameplay related today. I wanted to talk to you about something that happened last night. And it's got to do with the fact that, well, as we know, Microsoft recently purchased ABK, Activision Blizzard King. And with that, the rumour mill started churning very heavily in the regards of what, if anything, is going to move over to Game Pass. Game Pass is Microsoft's gaming service. Consider it Netflix, but for video games. And it's incredibly popular, like massively popular. And after this week's little bug, should we call it, with the token in World of Warcraft, this got people thinking even more. Are they starting to do things that are going to push World of Warcraft and other Blizzard games onto the Microsoft platform as a whole? And we got some information about this yesterday. There was a podcast that went live on the official Xbox YouTube channel. They've probably put it everywhere else as well. I'll leave a link to it down below if you want to watch the full video. But we got some clarification on this. We got some understanding that yes, Blizzard games and presumably, I would point out presumably at this point, there was no specifics given, but I'll let you listen to it and make your mind up what you take from this.
I mean, that's one of the things, like you said, all of our games are always in Game Pass. And so I'm excited to announce, you know, with the coming together that we had with Activision Blizzard King, that Activision and Blizzard games are coming to Game Pass, starting with Diablo 4 on March 28th, which I'm super excited to share today. And
so there we go. Diablo 4 being the first one, but you know, the choice of words there was important, I think, indicating that all of our games are always on Game Pass. This presumably means World of Warcraft as well. There was actually, when we look back a little bit, there were some leaks not too long ago sort of indicating this sort of stuff as well. This was an FTC leak before Microsoft actually purchased or the sale went through, to indicate what they were kind of planning to do. And as you can see, their Game Pass offering, they were looking to merge some stuff together. You can see some Activision titles on here. We've got Diablo, we've got Overwatch, we've got StarCraft, we've even got World of Warcraft down the bottom here. So it's going to showcase that they are trying to merge everything together. What is Game Pass, though? Let me just sort of talk about Game Pass a little bit more for those that are maybe trying to play catch-up here. My way of describing Game Pass is it's practically Netflix, but for video games. It's Microsoft's offering. You pay a monthly subscription to Game Pass, and then you can freely play a massive library of video games. It's something that I've only recently got on board with, but for like $15 a month, I consider it a bit of a bargain, especially now video games these days are upwards of 60, 70, 80, easily reaching $100 if you were to buy the full versions of them. $15 a month or so, I think 10 to $15 a month for Xbox. Game Pass is an absolute bargain for me. For reference, you don't need an Xbox to be an Xbox Game Pass subscriber. There is Xbox Game Pass for PC, which is what I subscribe to. It's a couple of bucks cheaper a month. But this is where I suspect World of Warcraft will eventually land. And this leads me to get into some thoughts with this. How is this going to actually integrate? Because we have, as you know, with World of Warcraft, we have to pay for the game initially. We also have that monthly subscription before you start considering tokens and store mounts and all the other fun microtransactions they seem to throw our way. My suspicion with this is the most likely scenario is that your World of Warcraft subscription, which if we take a little bit of a look at this, your World of Warcraft default subscription is around the 12, 13 euros a month, euros, dollars. It's not too much different depending on what your local currency is. My suspicion is that this will get rolled into the Game Pass subscription. If you have a Game Pass subscription, you'll likely get all the perks and benefits of this. This is my theory here. Now, what will that actually get people? Because a lot of you probably have a Dragonflight subscription right now, and you either pay for your monthly game time potentially with gold. I know a lot of people try to pay for the game with gold, or it just comes off your credit card and you don't particularly think about it. But Just a subscription alone, which is likely to be what's rolled into Game Pass, is going to give you access to the first 60 levels in World of Warcraft, the 1 to 60 in World of Warcraft Classic, and presumably all the Classic variations. So we're talking Season of Discovery here, we're talking Hardcore Solo Self-Found that's coming out soon, and 1 to 80 in World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King Classic, which of course is soon to be upgraded to Cataclysm, which will push the level banding up to 85 as well. The thing to note with your subscription is the one thing it doesn't get you is access to the current retail expansion. This is where I think things might get a little bit, well, we'll have to see is the honest answer, but my suspicion is Game Pass won't give you access to the new expansion. We know that the War Within, you can pre-order the War Within already. We know the new expansion for World of Warcraft that is coming out later this year. My suspicion is your Game Pass subscription, if this gets rolled in, probably won't give you access to that. But let's be honest here. Classic is massively popular right now. I've been playing, well, you can see above, right? I've been playing Classic. I've been playing Season of Discovery. I hit level 40 today. I'm having a blast. I suspect a lot of other people are too. And this is potentially 34 million new eyeballs onto World of Warcraft, which I can't find a downside to that. That to me sounds wonderful. More players playing the game is always better. It's an MMO. It's at its best when there are more people playing. Think of the experience we get whenever there's a new expansion, when there's a buzz about, when there's huge amounts of people in all the different zones. It's really quick and easy to get groups together. More players, just more good, in my opinion. I think this is a really good step in the right direction. I was dubious. I'm quite known for my cynicism sometimes, but I was a little bit skeptical when Microsoft stepped in because they're a big corporate company and they're not afraid of throwing their weight about. And I often praise Blizzard for being a little bit more what's the right word here? They are slower to nickel and dimers than some of the other big gaming publishers out there. It's getting worse, Blizzard. Maybe, calm down a little bit with the extra monetization. We don't necessarily need a new store mount every single month, but the reality is that there are some other players out there that are significantly more aggressive with their monetization, and that was my concern when Microsoft moved in, if I'm honest. But it does appear that the progress or the direction that they're going in as of right now could end up being a really positive one. We'll see how it affects Diablo. Diablo on March 28th, Diablo 4 will hit Game Pass, and that should hopefully allow a huge flurry of new players to the Diablo franchise. Here's to hoping that World of Warcraft moves in the same direction. By all means, taking what we know at face value, it seems very much that is likely to be the case. We don't have a timeline for this. Hopefully we'll find out before too long exactly when this kind of merger might work with Game Pass, and of course find out some of the nitty-gritty details. Are we going to play the most current expansion? Are we going to have to make a new account? This is something that we thought of, that well, maybe your current Battle.net license to play the game might not be the same as one you have to create through Battle.net. Does this mean that Game Pass, for example, will only be sort of something advantageous for new players? There's lots of questions to ask. Leave me your thoughts down below, boys and girls, but I just thought this was interesting enough to bring to the people to get a bit of a discussion about. I'm excited for it, honestly. A new slew of new players makes the game more enjoyable for everybody. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, boys and girls. Consider subscribing if you're new around here, and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.